Basically, there are 2 to 3 chunks of publishing. One is school education publishing, where all the school books and all those taken care of. One is called as higher education. In higher education, all the graduate, postgraduate courses comes. So I remember in my first year of my undergraduate, I wrote a paper, a review article, we call it. And I sent to one of the undergraduate scholarly journals. Although they declined my article, but they were very happy that undergraduate has shared a review article, and they shared a letter of appreciation to me. I still have it with me. Meeting doctors and bringing them on board was not a difficult task because I was a salesperson, so I knew what are the negotiations. But when they have given me the manuscript or sample chapters, how to get it reviewed from other faculties, because you are making them work and they are not getting any incentive. Author is getting name for the book, but how to convince them to review those chapters? So that was one challenge, and I was not having that network of reviewers. So I don't know whom to go, where to go. I cannot ask author to give name, otherwise that can be a biased review. So building that network was very difficult.
Welcome, Chandan. A big thank you. So let us begin with, in terms of your communication with seniors, what kind of reporting or what kind of communication is involved?
And it depends on what is the size of publishing houses. If it's a big publishing house, there will be several commissioning editors. So people start with assistant commissioning editor, although they have independent charge, but they start with assistant commissioning editor, then they become associate commissioning editor, then commissioning editor and senior commissioning editor. So these are some of the levels which you have, but they all are working independently. So as a senior commissioning editor, I may mentor assistant commissioning editor, but assistant commissioning editor will not report to me. He will report to the commissioning manager. In a smaller publishing houses, there can be 1 or 2 commissioning editors. They straight away report to the director of commissioning, or at times they are also called as publishing director. If it's a multinational company, they have global publishing director somewhere abroad, or if in India, they would be reporting to the managing director or CEO.
Okay. So basically, whatever work you are doing, that is being reviewed by your seniors, right?
Yeah,
Whoever you
senior.
report to.
Yeah, so either manager or the publishing director.
Mhm. Okay. And now, if I talk about different types of publishing,
Yeah.
you kind of gave us glimpses of what might be the differences, but if you specifically talk about it,
Yes.
let's say if you are currently working in a medical publishing house.
Yeah.
Right?
So basically, there are 2 to 3 chunks of publishing. One is school education publishing, where all the school books and all those taken care of. One is called higher education. In higher education, all the graduate, postgraduate courses comes. In higher education, there is a segment called as STM, so science technology management. And then in the same higher education, there's a segment called as medical publishing. So medical publishing is very niche actually.
Mhm.
There are not many players in that. So we are part of higher education publishing. If it's a big publishing house like an Oxford University Press or a Pearson or Tata McGraw-Hill, so there we will all be a part of a higher education portfolio where somebody is taking care of life sciences, humanities, social sciences, graduate and undergraduate courses, postgraduate courses, and postdoctoral studies. And then R comes in science and technology. There'll be engineering courses and all those things. And similar way, we are in medicine, so we take care of the courses of the medicine. And then there is a whole lot of segment called as academic publishing, so which is like history, social sciences. Basically those books are meant for those who are doing their postdoctoral studies or in some specialized studies. So school education, which is also known as K-12 publishing. Then in higher education, medical, science and technology, management, business economics, every part comes. And then comes the academic. And then there is of course fiction and non-fiction part is there, that is definitely independent publishing. That's a different. So this is the broader spectrum.
And so, how do you see the difference in terms of a role of a commissioning editor? Does it change for these publishing sectors?
See, major roles remains the same because everybody has to scout for author. He has to do all the due diligence, finance part, and all part. Only things might change in terms of which subject areas they are working. There would be different need. In a higher education book, you might need a textbook, a reference book, a exam oriented book, a ready reckoner book, a practical book. In school education you would need a reference book, a guide, so that differentiation will happen in the product, not in the process. The role will remain the same. It will be the what kind of needs would be there and how you will cater to that need. So that work might get different.
So, if you have to navigate from, let's say, medical publishing to school education publishing, do you
Mhm.
think that transition is easy, or do you feel that there are going to be challenges?
See, it is not that people cannot. There are many examples where people have migrated from medical is a very niche, so very few people have done that. But people do go to from science and technology to school education, from school education to higher education to business economics and education. Because see, the set of authors are same. So not same in the sense, but they understand the subject. See, I can also go to a school education because I understand the subject. So first of all, you need to have that basic understanding of the subject or the market. Then the second chief thing is the networking. Now if I have remained for almost 10, 15 years in medicine, I don't have that network when I'll go to a K-12 level or a school publishing. I don't know authors over there. The authors don't know me. So is that publishing house ready to take that much of risk that they will give me 6 months to eight months so that I can build my network? And although it is very easy because many a times they have already been publishing, so I can contact to those authors and I can leverage their contact and all those things can happen. But still he would want a person who has already been operating in a school education market, you know.
So
So
basically,
that transition is not that easy, and the employer will also prefer a person who has been into that particular segment of publishing. But it has happened that sometimes there is a new area of publishing which is coming, some niche area. Say for example, I'll tell you, medical publishing in India started very late, matlab, as compared to school education or higher education. So initially people who came as a commissioning editor, they were doing engineering books.
from
And
engineering to
still you will,
medicine.
yes, and you will still find people who don't have life sciences background. Some of the seniors, they are from engineering background and now they are successful medical editors. But that option happened because there were no commissioning editors in the medical publishing, because medical publishing in India, like there were some Indian houses, but the competition opened in mid 90s when most of the foreign publishing companies started publishing medical books in India.
Mhm.
And that time they needed commissioning editor and they could not find, so they took people from engineering and science and technology because understood the faculty's mindset and how university professor teach and all those things. So initially those people who actually, I remember one of my first publishing director to whom I reported, he was from engineering background. He worked as a commissioning editor in medicine and then he rose to the rank of. So this is how it is, but I don't think this will happen now because there is already pool of that people. So even if some new medical company is happening, they will particularly poach a person who is already working in a medical publishing.
So basically, when you move from one company to another, you are going with your network.
Actually you are taking off your network there, and that is
Yeah.
why many companies say that you cannot join a rival company, but it is usually happens for leadership roles.
So I understand that you cannot join a rival company, but you'll continue working in the same industry. So in a way, you are basically joining a rival company.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
that is there, but it has happened with few of my friends. It never happened with me. See, this publishing world is very small, so you have to join a rival company only.
Yes.
Yes, so that is
So
there.
Chandan, now let's go back to your school days, right? When you were like in your class 11th or 12th, what were your aspirations? What were you thinking in terms of?
Not 10th. I'll start with ninth and 10th. Wow. But
Okay.
so to give you a purview, when I was in ninth and 10th, electronic media became very powerful. Earlier, newspaper or the news channels were not that popular, but when I was in ninth and 10th, a lot of electronic media came into India, mushroomed like NDTV, Aaj Tak. So I got fascinated with that. Oh, this is something really very interesting. So I always wanted to become a journalist.
Mm-hmm.
And I used to be in the part of my school editorial board, or at times I used to contribute to my school magazines. I remember from my high school, not in a very large extent, but yes, always I used to give one or two piece to my annual book, school book. There used to be either some kind of poem or some kind of write up or some kind of a story I was doing since my high school. So I always got fascinated with journalism very much. And when that electronic media came, it I thought this is the thing to go. But parents pressure, they wanted me to study science. And after 10th I have to take in 11th and 12th science. And i was I was an average student. I was not a very bad student, but I was good in communication, I was good in networking at that point of time also. Anyways, I cleared my 11th and 12th. And then that focus was still there that I have to do something. But again, my parents wanted me to take us some science stream and all, and I got admitted in one of the pharmacy college in Karnataka. My father was in armed forces, so we every 3 years we used to get a periodical transfer. I was born in Chennai and then been to various places of India. So schooling system for us was, there used to be a school called as there still it is Kendriya Vidyalaya. So
Mhm.
we studied in that school, and one of the reason was because every 3 years we used to get transfers. So we were really good in making friends, because we knew that every 3 years either my friend will move out or I have to move out in between. So we were very outgoing, and that our class used to be like that. Everyone used to be friend with everybody, because we knew next day, next year we have to go somewhere else. So 11th and 12th, it was good. I did it from Pune. That time my father was posted in Pune. And so I did my 11th and 12th from Pune. And in those days there used to be entrance exams for medical and pharmacy. So I cleared my entrance and got my seat in pharmacy in Rajiv Gandhi University of Health Sciences, Bangalore. I was always wanted to contribute something. So I started reading a lot of journals, scholarly journals and all. Usually people don't do. So I remember in my first year of my undergraduate, I wrote a paper, a review article, we call it, and I sent to one of the
Mhm.
undergraduate scholarly journal. Although they declined my article, but they were very happy that undergraduate has shared a review article, and they shared a letter of appreciation to me. I still have it with me.
Very
uh,
nice.
yeah, they appreciated that the article which you have shared is very well referenced and it's very good, but we have already published a similar article 3 4 years back. We are unable to publish this. I got a little disheartened, and I showed to my head of the department that this is. So he said, it's okay, you read something innovative and write something. And he said that maybe because you are still an undergraduate student, so many journals, even scholarly journals, will not allow you to publish. So you go and do poster presentations. So in scientific world we have a lot of conferences. So the same journal article thing can be presented in a form of a poster. So you do that, there the acceptability of is higher. So I started doing poster presentation in my second year and third year. And when I was in my final year, I able to publish two review articles. So that was an achievement, because usually people publish articles when they do their post graduation.
PhDs.
So that
Okay.
was highlight. Over the 4 years when I studied, I was always like someone who thought, no, I don't want to do masters in my own field. I want to go into the market side. And being a pharmacy graduate, I always wanted to foresee that how that pharmaceutical world in marketing and sales operate. And that is how God was kind to me, that I got, there was no campus placement when I was in my undergraduate days. Somebody told me that Pfizer India was doing interviews. So I went a walk in, and luckily as a fresher I got selected over there, but that's a different story. But schooling was very good. I happened to learn a lot of cultures, because our school used to be a mini India. Somebody is from south, somebody is from north, somebody is from west. So lunch time used to be really very fascinating, because we friends used to sit together and we used to share our lunch with each other. So that
Different
used to be,
cuisines.
yeah, different cuisine.
Yeah. Taste dish right from schooling days.
Yes, so that was one of the best thing I remember. And it was not only that school was mini India, but my father got transferred to various places. So we learned a lot of local things, because when we were in Gujarat, I learned Gujarati a little bit. I can understand definitely. When we were in Bombay, so I became very thorough with Marathi. I can still speak Marathi and I can understand 100%. So that gives you an advantage. And I think as a person, because you have been to so many places, you can easily walk to stranger and ask something, that how to go or where to go. Or at times I have that tendency to make friend a little easier as compared to somebody who has spent his life in one single place.
Yeah. So, Chandan, I believe because that environment where you grew up, which is armed forces,
Yes.
that helped you learn adaptability, right? So, just adapt to
I
new environment, new people quickly,
Yes.
easily, and all that.
Yes, yes. And because it was not in our control, it was either you do it or otherwise you will not be able to make friends. I cannot be snobbish and sit in my class and not talk to the people, because I know that every 3 years or 2.5 years I need to go to new place. So it was inevitable. The circumstances were like that. Have to be like that. But I think that has helped me a lot. I can break ice with anybody.
So, Chandan, I also come from armed forces background. My father was in Air Force.
Oh, my father was
So,
in Air Force too, actually.
yeah. So the interesting part is what you say that you were able to connect with people so easily. Yeah, I wasn't quite like that. But then, yes, I know that because I moved from places to places, I can easily adapt to new situations and new environments. That is something that I have learned from that experience.
Absolutely. When my boss says, "Oh, there is a lot of contingency keep on happening. Oh, this has happened, Chandan, this has happened. What to do? What to do?" I said, "Okay, ma'am. I think we will sort it out." So he said, "How is that?" So I just said that, "Madam, फौजी के बच्चे हम हमने बड़े tensions देखे." So don't worry, we will have. At times, we need to travel on some quick notice or something to meet author who is like not giving us the manuscript, and he says, no, you first come and meet me, then only we will. So you have to, Zoom call will not work, and quick notice, like we have to fly down. Oh, I haven't prayed. So then we say that, oh, it's okay, ma'am, we will do that, not to worry. We have been doing a lot of these kind of things in past when we were kids. So I think, yes, that has contributed a lot in my personality. And I always took it as a welcome thing, welcome change in myself, and it has helped me a lot.
So now, Chandan, you said that you joined the pharmacy industry, right?
Yeah.
And most likely it was in sales.
Yeah, started with sales. Yeah.
Sales. So from there, how did you come to this publishing industry?
That's an interesting journey, actually. I'll tell you. So I worked with Pfizer India and Novo Nordisk. It was span of 3 years where I worked over there. So as a sales guy, I was operating in Bombay suburbs. I used to go to some of the very well-known hospitals like Dhirubhai Ambani Hospital, Bombay Hospital, and all those things. So my role was basically I was a detailman. So I used to detail my products to the physicians, and I used to urge them to prescribe. Like, my father was not very happy with that kind of job, because he felt that you are always on the field, and he felt that a field job doesn't have kind of dignity what the office job has. He has that kind of notions. I never had it, and I always enjoyed going on field, and because I tend to meet a lot of people. I used to interact with them. I used to learn a lot of things. But he, coming from that generation where whatever parents used to say, you have to. So he always
Do
said me,
that.
get an office job, get a desk job. So I said, okay, fine. So after gaining 3 years of experience, I did my MBA. That time we were based in Bombay only, so I joined DY Patil School of Business in Navi Mumbai, and I was in my third semester. I got a call from a recruiter, because my previous profile was uploaded on the job board. So she said that they are looking for someone who can make the authors write books. So an editor, commissioning editor. So I said, no, I am not from languages background, and neither I have any experience about that. So no, 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 this is a commissioning editor profile. This is something different. Just go through that profile. So she gave me the JD, and then I researched, and then I realized that, okay, this is not someone who will be sitting on a desk, and but we will be going to conferences. So I thought that, okay, this is something through which I can pacify my dad also, and I'll be meeting a lot of people and traveling and all those things. So I read a lot, I researched a lot, and then I gave the interview. So my publishing director who took this interview, he got really happy that the information which you are giving, it seems that you have done a lot of research. And this is what we need in a commissioning editor, who can do a lot of research from scattered things. So it is like you have to bring all those things together and then you have to present. So
Mhm.
this is what needed. And he told me that if you can make a doctor write prescription, I'm sure you can convince him to write a book as well. And then he told me that there are two things. These people, any clinicians, they are not someone who is looking for a money as a royalty, because they are one of the people who are at the higher strata of the society. They are looking for the name and fame. So convince them, tell them that if you write a book, you will be known in your community of physicians or clinicians. So a clinician or a practitioner might have written hundred of journal articles in their scientific journal, but writing a book holds a different weightage. You have earned a lot of name, fame, but it is your book which is going to remain even after you.
Legacy.
Legacy. So how you will, you are performing great surgeries, you are a great clinician, but the day you are out of a business, or you have left your profession, how people will remember you? Maybe somebody will say, oh, this is Dr. So and so's book. It is I this is very close to my heart, because the concepts which he has described are fantastic, and he was the one who actually coined these ideas. So this is how you will become mortal, and these all steps are there to bring them on board. So this was, yeah, fascinating. Yes, ma'am.
So, Chandan, when you started, you definitely faced challenges, right? Because you had a very different kind of role. Yes, there were part of your role kind of had some similarities, meeting the doctors and talking to them about writing.
Yeah.
But beyond that, the entire profit and loss analysis,
Yes.
evaluating whether it will work in the market. So that aspect, communicating with the editorial team, sales team, marketing team, that aspect was very new for you, right?
Yes.
So what kind of challenges did you face? How did you deal with them?
Yeah, that's something really very interesting question, because when I joined, there was no formal training or orientation. They told me, okay, these steps are there, but you have to learn it when you are on board and when you start doing that. Then only you face. So I'll tell you, meeting doctors and bringing them on board was not a difficult task, because I was a salesperson, so I knew what are the negotiations. But the challenges were when I used to conduct a review, when they have given me the manuscript or sample chapters, how to get it reviewed from other faculties, because you are making them work and they are not getting any incentive. Author is getting name for the book, but how to convince them to review those chapters? So that was one challenge, and I was not having that network of reviewers. So I don't know whom to go, where to go. I cannot ask author to give name, otherwise that can be a biased review. So building that network was very difficult. So first challenge was identifying author, second challenge was identifying independent reviewers. So then again the process was same. As I have gone through to find authors, I used to move around to medical colleges and somebody who is junior position, and I used to tell, sir, would you be interested in reviewing this? I used to face a lot of rejections that, oh, what is there in me, and I don't have time and all those things. But some people who were academically inclined, so what I used to do, I when many times I got rejections. Then once I met student and I said, who is the teacher, who teaches really very well in your class? It may be a young guy also. So he said, there is one lecturer, sir, you can meet him. He is
Mhm.
very fantastic teacher. So I went to him and I asked, sir, I've heard that you teach really very well. So he said, thank you. Said, I have some work for you. Would you like to review? Because you are a good teacher. So definitely you can review a good manuscript also, that you can bring what are the flaws and what are the good part and all. This is how I started approaching to get reviews. So when I used to visit, I used to go to the students, even for searching authors also, that I used to say, who is a good teacher? If somebody is a good teacher, he can be a good reviewer, he can be a good author also. So that was one of my approach. Second approach was doing a lot of due diligence on a lot of websites, because they have their own forums, specialty forums. So who is writing more blogs, or who is writing more journal articles in that particular areas? So I can meet them, or I can, because there are email addresses, so I approach them through email address. LinkedIn helped me a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So at times I used to tell them that, sir, I'm looking for reviewers and I will give you credits in the book. So many faculties say are okay, yes. And at times if they say no, no, but there is one of my friends, so you take some references from them, their phone number. So it, until you approach people, nothing is in front of you. So this was one of the challenging tasks. Then definitely the profit and loss sheet which we make initially, because I was also, as a layman, I was also not aware that what a 70 gsm and 60 gsm can do. So for that, I need to go and sit with that production manager, and I need to take a lot of tutorials with him, that okay, how this happens. And then I requested him to make me go through a printing press.
Mm-hmm.
So I haven't seen a printing press. So he said, no, I don't have time. So almost after 6 months of joining, once I begged to him, because what happens, a author, when I meet, so okay, how do you print books? And I have no idea. So I wanted to physically see that how a printing press, because publishing means printing, it comes, okay, you do with the printing press and all those things, but it is not like that. So prior to that, there are also work. So that work I was able to explain, but what happens in printing, what, how typesetting happens, how all those things happens, what is two column, single column, how that happens, what kind of binding, there are different kind of bindings in the book. So those things were challenged to explain the author, because author wants to understand everything from me. I cannot say that, sir, I will connect you to my production manager. So so those things were little difficult. And initially I used to say, definitely, sir, I'm also new, so I will let you know. And but then slowly, with all the departments, I started venturing out with them, and say with sales team. Even I, because author used to ask me how my book will be available in the bookstore. So I used to go along with salespeople and understand that what is the medium of sales. It goes through wholesaler, how it
Distribution.
reaches to, how the distribution channel. I used to work, although I came from sales, so I have that idea. But still, to have that bird's eye view, I always visited along with them. And many a times I used to upfrontly used to go to the retailers and try to understand, okay, whether my organization's book, are you keeping it not? And then I used to, why aren't you keeping in front? No, 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 it is okay. So those things were there.
Okay.
So you learn through your own experiences. But yes, if you are ready to learn, you will. I have seen a lot of commissioning editors who have, along with me, they were very new breed of people who came, and within 2 to 3 years they changed their industry, because went back to their industry, because they find it very challenging, because they were not ready to learn new things. So here you always need to learn.
So, Chandan, you mentioned that building the network of authors was not very challenging to you because you were in a way connected, right?
Yes,
Because, and you also knew how to build that network easily.
yes,
Plus, there is a factor of payment. So, if they are writing, they get paid.
yeah, they
So,
get
there,
royalties.
yeah. So, there is an interest apart from the name, fame, and everything.
Yes.
But for editors, since they don't even get any kind of payment, how would you convince them? Just because of credits, they would
No, no,
come,
no,
or
no. Even like some legacy title, and I want to get an editor on board. So then the
Mhm.
royalties will get shared. Say for example,
Okay.
some XYZ has, see, this is a very professional world, and yes, see, if the book has already been published and that sole author is not there, then we bring some new person. He will be called as editor. So in that case, some of the percentage of royalty will be going to the kin of the original author. And then because he is not contributing, then the person we are bringing them on board, we will share the royalties with them. Definitely that percentage will be less, but again they have to do the less work, because there are so many additions has already
Major
been gone
part.
through. So it is all only the newer developments which has happened, he has to incorporate that. But there are no pro bonos. There are no
Mhm.
pro bonos. And being a professionally driven industry, we do that. At times, yes, for reviewers, we do that rather than not pay somebody who is reviewing the content, we don't pay them, but we either pay them through some kind of books. So we have like different companies have different criteria. So we pay some review like up to 2000 rupees books we pay them. So what from our library, whatever they want from our catalog, they can select up to 2000 rupees, they can buy our book. And if they want to buy some additional books, we give them 30% discount. So that kind of arrangement we do.
And how about reviewers? For them, why should they come on board? Because again, here you
So
said
their
that there
name
is a
their
shared
name comes
royalty.
in the book. Their name comes in the book.
Hmm.
So they get credited in the book in the front matter. See, a front matter is like if you see in the before the table of content, there are 5 6 pages which you have seen, which is called front matter in the. So it will have credit page, first title of the page, title page, author's name, and all those. So in that we put acknowledgement page is there, dedication page is there. Similarly, we put a, if there are many reviewers, we put a list of reviewers who has reviewed, so their name gets credited over there. Or if there are lesser number of reviewers like 2 or 5, so in that case we put their name in the acknowledgement page, that we feel very thankful to these people who have reviewed the content for us. So that is how they get credited. And at
Okay.
times we share a copy of that book to them.
Okay. So, how has been your experience? I realize from the conversation you're very, very engaged and very, very much into this entire role of commissioning editor. So, but
Yes.
overall, if you have to share your experience with the audience, what would you say?
See, it's one of the oldest profession. Publishing is one of the oldest profession when it comes, because it all started when the printing press started. And even beyond that, publishing was, people were, in those days it was leaves and all those things. So the thing is that this industry has not chosen much of the innovation part. So still innovation is lacking. There is scope of innovation, but I think it is coming up, but it's not that innovative as a newer industry would be. Still, a publishing company is a different, and a e-learning company is a different. Still, you will
Mhm.
not find that a traditional publishing company is into e-learning, although their target audience is same. But you will not find that educom or a e-learning company is an extension of a publishing company. You will not find that. Publishing companies are still a publishing company. They just want to be pages bounded in a hardbound or a paper bound cover. So they are evolving, they are trying to evolve, but still their mentality is still in that way, because their major chunk of business still comes from that. So they are not investing in that. So that way it is a very older industry. Entry barriers are there. So new publication house is opening, a new publishing house is a very challenging task, because it's a lot of things you have to. A new publishing house, you have to build a set of books, so many books, then only you will become successful and all those things. So entry barrier to this business is there. That is why you will find most of the companies, they are 400-year-old, 300-year-olds publishing house, at least 70 years old, 100 years old. Oxford University Press, it is almost 100-year-old organization. In organizations where I have worked, Walters Kluwer Health, or in my current, they are 300-year-old organizations. So it's very difficult to come up on new organization. That way it is very limited. But
How
yes,
about
if you
Pearson?
are in here,
Pearson is
Pearson is also quite an old, and it's a very big, in fact, a number one publication house. But it, there are very few players. You can count on fingers if you say good publishing house or good publishers. And everyone has their got own set of competency or own niche. If you are coming becoming a commissioning editor, you will get restricted to your subject areas. For
okay.
that sake, I would say somebody
Okay.
who is going into editorial, for them, because they will be editing manuscript, be it science technology or maybe a fiction, again there will be a difference, but not that sense. That is why many people don't want to come into commissioning from editorial side, because then avenues become limited. But it's very
Okay.
interesting and very challenging. So that way, I am very satisfied with my job. End of the day, when you hold a product, final product, from ideation stage to final product, that sense of achievement is different.
I can understand. Yeah, it feels very good that it has come to fruition after all.
Yes. So that way, and commissioning editor is a very rare bid. As I told you, if there'll be 50 people in editorial, there'll be hardly 5 or 10 people in commissioning.
Mhm.
So in publishing houses, collectively, if I'll say in India, medical publishing house, there will be some 5 to 8 publishing houses. So there will be hardly 40 to 50 commissioning editors. So very small
So
world.
this is an interesting career path if someone wants to come into this.
Yeah, but with the caution that, if you are coming with this, you have to be ready for this. Although there are different avenues,
Mhm.
lot many people, if you are really interested, as you said, there are, because now market is evolving. So maybe digital learning or the content, content and all those things. Because see, ultimately I am not restricted with the page bound content. I am the one who brings the curator, the
Mhm.
author. So even a electronic content need a author. There also the content needs to be commissioned. Just the format will be different, right? So
Yes.
there also, so maybe that thing will also evolve, or in coming future they will understand that we need a seasoned guy who has been doing book commissioning. He can do really good digital or an electronic commissioning also very well. But that transition will take some time, I think.
Okay. So Chandan, now let let's move on to something personal, if
Yeah,
that is okay with you.
yeah, please.
So, what are your passions? Like apart from work, what do you like to do?
I am a petrol head, so I read a lot about cars and motorbikes.
Okay.
So yeah, so that's one of things which engages me. I subscribe Overdrive, Autocar, magazines, and because now it's an electronic age, so I watch all the YouTubes with the recent launches, and also I am a car enthusiast. Although I drive a very small hatchback, but that doesn't
Mhm.
stop me to
From being an
think.
enthusiast.
Yeah, being an enthusiast, or I cover all the auto shows which happens in Delhi. So
Mhm.
last 5 years I have been covering all the auto show, in between that COVID years, barring COVID years. So I've been covering auto shows, and whatever new car is there. I have some friends in auto industries, one of my friend in Maruti, one in Skoda. So I keep on asking that what's new coming, what are new strategies and all those things. So I am a petrol head from so that's my first passion. Second, I love to travel. Although it's very expensive to travel abroad, but I have traveled few of countries outside India. But yes, I think that thing came because of the transferable job. I want to understand new cultures, new languages. At least I can understand few bits, and if I feel happy if I can greet somebody in their languages. So I remember, because we work in very multicultural environment here also, so I love greeting them in their language. And especially in publishing, a lot of our uh, offshore colleagues, they keep on coming to India office. So somebody is coming from Spain, somebody is coming from Brazil, somebody coming from South America, or from Italy. So I wish to collaborate with them, and I say hello to in their language, and they feel happy. So that way, I love exploring cultures. I read a lot about various cultures, and thanks to YouTube, and a lot of traveling channel. So virtually, I tour those places where I cannot afford to go. But yes, traveling and automotive world is what my passion is.
So, after doing your commissioning job, do you get enough time to indulge in your passion?
Yes. See, it's all about how there are 24 hours only, and I believe that at times there are a lot of work. Even after office, you have to work because there are certain things which takes a lot of time. So, but yes, I think when something is your passion, you do get time, or you have to spare some time for that. And I've been doing this for these many years, so I make sure that I get all the time for this. Sometimes yes, I sometimes it happens that I am not able to devote time. But then again, nowadays everything is been YouTube. If I have missed something, I can always go and see in even the previous uploaded videos. So that way we are blessed. I used to remember when I was a kid. So I used to wait for a show in NDTV. There used to be called car and bike show. And I never used to miss that show, but at times that used to happen, that I used to miss that if I'm going somewhere, or I'm somewhere outside, and I used to regret it. But now, thanks to internet, YouTube, even
You
if
can see all
something, you
that.
can see the back days programs also. So that way, I think technology and YouTube has really helped us to stay informed.
Okay. So great, Chandan. Thank you so much. I think we have come to the end of the episode for today.
Thank you.
And anything that you want to say before we wind up for the day? Anything to your
This
colleagues,
is
industry
uh,
mates?
well, publishing world is a very small world, so people know each other very well. And this is a very good world, because we interact with each other. What are the latest trends, what are the trending things, despite not in my subject areas, but still we are aware because we meet them somewhere, because most of the offices are nearby, or there is a place called as Daryaganj where we all go, and sometimes we meet them, or sometimes we are connected on LinkedIn or through phone. So this is a very happy breed of people. Publishing world has gone through lots and ups and downs, especially in the COVID time, because it has been very tough time for us. Book sales were down because schools were not open, people were not going to their colleges or universities, and that has impacted. But I think this industry is pretty resilient in that sense. We bounce back. I feel we need to start little bit more innovation. We should be open to innovation. I think with over the period of time that will happen. We should be ready to collaborate with new stakeholders outside the publishing world. I think these are some of the things, if we will do, we will definitely coexist. Otherwise, the kind of penetration of electronics is happening. If we will not take right steps in future, maybe things will be different, but I'm sure we are going to adapt soon, so that will be there.
Do you want to speak a little more about the innovation aspect?
Yeah,
What
that's what
exactly?
I'm saying, that gone are those days when you can make a child sit from page 1 to 1000, like if I'm talking about a university book, or page 1 to page 500. Now we need to see various avenues of knowledge dissemination. Publishing,
Mhm.
we should publishing should not get restricted to those bounded pages. So what we can offer to a student, and how we can disseminate knowledge apart from, so that's where the electronic learning comes. E-learning is there, or a lot of things is happening through videos, virtual classrooms, and all those things, because we have plethora of content lying in those bounded books. How we can utilize those books into that thing, no, because a teacher can teach, but teacher will teach again with a book.
Mhm.
So how our books can become a medium on a virtual medium. Our industry, we felt that just doing an ebook is answer to coming to an electronic world. No, we have to think beyond ebooks or beyond audiobooks for that. So maybe I don't know how that will collaborate and how we will amalgamate, because we have a content and that content is copyrighted. Nobody can use our content. So as soon as publishing industry will figure it out, I think the future will be brighter.
Okay. All the best, Chandan. It was lovely talking to you. And with this, we'll close this episode. Thank you again.
Thank you very much, Nasmawa.
And that brings us to the end of part 2 of our conversation with Chandan. This episode took us deeper into the decision making process of publishing strategies, the challenges and opportunities of transition between publishing sectors, and the importance of building strong networks of authors and reviewers. Chandan's insights were truly inspiring and offered valuable lessons for anyone looking to craft a career in publishing. A huge thank you to Chandan for sharing his journey, expertise, and advice with us over these 2 episodes. If you found this conversation insightful, don't forget to subscribe, leave a comment, and share it with others who might benefit. Thank you for listening, and as always, keep learning and crafting your career. Until next time, take care. And once again, a very happy new year.